In today's video, I discuss the height of the grip and the height of the club head to help you find the center of the club face. If you're someone that hits it out the heel of the golf club or the toe of the golf club, then this video is just for you. Finding that center is easy when you know how. The biggest differentiator of all golfers is ball striking. I've been fortunate enough to work with some of the best players in the world, and the ability to find the center of the club face is absolutely crucial. Now, whether you are a high handicapper, mid handicapper or a low handicapper, when was the last time you struck a golf shot out the middle of the club face and the ball went offline? 99.99% of the time, when you find the middle of the club face, the golf ball finds the center of the green, the center of the fairway. You might have some bend to the right or to the left, but so often a well-struck shot finds your target. Something that I recognize in the best players in the world is their ability to find the center of the club face more than anything else. Surely they have good techniques, indifferent techniques, but the best in the world always find the middle of the club face. How a golfer controls the height of the club head coming into strike and how the golfer controls the height of the grip coming into strike will ultimately dictate whether you can find the face and the center of the club face with your golf ball. So I've got a couple of ideas here that are going to absolutely guarantee you some pure striking to lower that handicap. Now, there's a couple of areas in the golf swing that we all need to appreciate that are different for all of us. When we stand to the golf ball, how you stand to the ball, whether the club shaft sits more high or sits more low, is going to ultimately dictate the arc that that grip moves around you at. The more your grip is low at address, the gap between the grip and the ground, and the more your grip is high at address, the change in angle of your swing is as you saw on the screen. Now this will change how your wrists feel through strike. Now for a lot of you, the club shaft to begin with is far too high. We want to get the club shaft at address at 90 degrees between the spine and the club shaft. This really gives you the opportunity to get the grip sitting underneath your chest, rather than when you're a golfer that has the club shaft too vertical at address. It really stops the club and the grip from being pushed down. And when the grip is stood up, what's happening is, as the club is swinging back into the golf ball, all of the time the grip is trying to return high. Can you see what it's doing to the club face? It's kicking the club head back and it's opening the face up. All of the time I try to return the grip more down, it lifts the club head up and it squares the club face. So number one is your ability to control the height of the grip through strike and tie it in with how it feels at address. So set up to begin with, all of the best players in the world have a grip that sits, for the lion's share, there'll always be outliers, for the lion's share, the grip sits underneath the golfer's chest. Now when a golfer can control the height that grip moves around their body, all of a sudden how the height of that grip, club head, works into the golf ball becomes far more consistent. Now when the club head coming into the golf ball is coming in much higher because the grip is much lower, so the lower I have that grip coming into strike, the higher I get that club head returning through to strike, it makes me feel like I can hit down on the golf ball and reach the bottom of strike. Now when I have the ability to control the height of the grip, which gives me the feeling and the ability to control the height of the club head in strike, you can now see that striking the ball high and low on the face becomes much, much easier. So as I push the grip more down through strike, which elevates the club head, it's much easier for me to get the strike higher on the face than lower on the face. So I can get the strike at the right height. All of a sudden, if my grip starts to lift up too much, it's all too often the cause and the resulting factor of getting the strike too low on the face. So this grip height really gives me the ability to move the strike high and low on the face. So that's one perspective of where contact is coming from. The north and south pole on the club face. Now the ability to control the strike heel and toe then becomes about how long you can make the shaft through strike. Yes, that's right, how long you can make the club shaft through strike. Because the more a golfer stands the grip up through strike, and let's say the club head is sitting directly underneath the grip, all the time the club head sits underneath the grip, you can see how much shorter that club head is, or that club shaft is, compared to if I had the club head at the same height as the grip. So this distance away from the golf ball, how much I can sit into my posture, pull myself into forward bend, with the ability to make my club long enough to fill that gap as I stand up, as I drop the club head down, look how much closer to the golf ball I need to become. So I'm really feeling that the height of this grip through strike ties beautifully in with how much pressure I can feel through the heels of my feet to move the strike point from heel to toe. So the more I can push into the heels of my feet, that allows me to drop the grip height and lift the head up, the more chance I have of striking the ball more out of the toe of the club face. Now, the more I go towards the toe of the club face as strike, if you feel that you're able to keep the grip down and the shaft long, reduce the heel contact through strike and start to shift the balance more towards the middles of your feet, so that you can now control strike out the club face through your feet pressure. So you can see I move the contact back towards the middle. If I wanted to move the strike even more towards the heel, I would then start to feel more biased towards the toes of my feet through strike. Now this is something that I'm not a fan of, because if we've got a golf club trying to pull itself in that direction, I want to make sure that my force is going back into my heels, not towards my toes. But if you're someone that's really battling with a toe strike, often that can come from grip too lifted up, club head's kicking in, causing it to come more out the toe. So by feeling that grip down and that head up, which is really helping that angle of attack, lowering the strike, getting it more out the middle, you can now start to use the heel and toe to start to balance you up. And if you go more on the heel, toes of the feet, you'll start to get the contact more out the heel of the golf club. And that's something that many, many golfers have. Many, many golfers have a heel strike because they're far too much on the toes of their feet. And that's because they've worked so much on the garbage of swinging inside out. So the greatest ball strikers in the world have the height of the grip under control, down through strike, the height of the grip under control, that gives them the ability to control the height of the head. That allows them to hit high or low on the face. And then their ability to move the weight on the toes of their feet or the heels of their feet to give them the opportunity to negotiate the strike from heel to toe. So the feet and the grip height are the two ingredients that you really need to play with to give you the opportunity to find the center of the face.
Are you tired of paying too much for your premium leather golf gloves? Head over to gxgolfgloves.com. These are gloves tried and trusted by elite amateurs and tour players alike. Enter my code GOODCOACHING to receive 10% off your next order. Go try them out, you won't be disappointed.
Now remember, all golf clubs are different lengths. So the feels for all of the variety of golf clubs might be ever so slightly different, but play with it. Play with your grip height to make the club head arrive at a different aspect, and use your feet pressures to change the heel and toe strike. If you've got any thoughts or questions about anything I've covered in today's video, do drop me a comment in the box below. And that, my friends, is good coaching.